very well aware that in the back of my head that hasn't really sunk in because outside of the language and the fact that everyone here just speaks English, really not that different.
No, I mean, like most places you go. Hey, beautiful people. What are you up to? Is everyone chilling out, relaxing, having a sexy Wednesday? Oh, yeah. I know we are.
Sorry, Nori just came in.
Oh. What you missed out on is we have, I think I've got it routed properly, the audio live stream, where you can listen to the audio-only version of this show if you want, which we've been on that channel broadcasting for about 30 minutes. No one saw it. It's your loss. Not really.
All right, let me just make sure all the social medias were, yes. Everyone should know that we're live, so.
No one knows we're live, man.
Yes, we are live. I just flicked to the YouTube page. Not for me, LGC killed YouTube. We're not that big. We're not that relevant on YouTube. There's no way that happened.
We use YouTube to stream and for free video storage, offsite backup. That's about it. Same reason I post everything still to Twitch. Good noon. It's still another great day for Linux, everyone. See, Pedro should be saying, Nori, I'm doing a show. He won't do that, though.
Sorry. Nori was debating whether or not she would make noodles for dinner.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, make noodles.
Fake noodles or baked noodles?
No, actual noodles. The cheaper ones, because even though we can technically afford proper food now, those are pretty good. Those are actually pretty good, and they're very, very good if you're lazy.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things. Like, I would never, ever, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, would ever wish, like, being impoverished and or broke. But I'm telling you, you'll learn some things when you get to that point. And
oh, yeah.
you find out things like, man, these, 99 pence noodles, pretty good.
Pretty goddamn good, yeah.
Right? So there are definitely things like that. Boop. We got that. We got that. We got that.
And now that we have a proper kettle, it's even faster to make noodles. We don't need to just boil the water in a pan or something.
In a pan?
A pan or a pot or whatever.
Brad couldn't pull it off, man. He tried.
New Punisher trailer is pretty dope. The series?
Netflix,
with Shane?
man.
I didn't see any Punisher trailers, that's why I'm asking. If it's the series, yeah, I want to see Shane play the Punisher.
It's the, how do I put this? An embarrassment of riches with Netflix. Like, I'm not going to watch Golden Iron Fisticuffs or whatever he was.
Iron Fist, yes.
I haven't watched the, Defenders.
I haven't watched those either.
Here's another problem. Here's another problem with Netflix. I know they're not going anywhere. They're always there. There's no like, better watch it before it disappears off the Netflix. But yeah.
Yeah, outside of Disney properties? Is Marvel a Disney property?
No.
Okay, then it should be safe. A data de entrega mudou? Foi uma semana. I get it. It's a little bit of cocaine before the show. Sure, Strider, if you're into that,
Yeah, man. I
by all
mean,
means.
Game of
Linux
Thrones.
Nuru hasn't started on Game of Thrones yet. Not jealous of you at all. And I mean that honestly. I'm not being sarcastic. Genuinely not jealous of you.
The Game of Thrones probably is going to be one epic binge watch, though. I mean, have you ever have you
Like,
ever just like
top
run
to
into
bottom?
a
Yeah.
well, all right, check this out, man. Have you ever just run into a series that had run to completion, and I'm talking like 5 or 6 series, and you can just nom it in a week or two?
Farscape.
I thought you were going to say like,
Admittedly, I was unemployed at the time, so
thought you were going to be like Sesame Street.
no. Farscape, yeah. I was unemployed at the time, so I had time.
I leave
And
things
I
on in
watched
the
it all
background.
top to bottom.
The Wire. I've not watched The Wire. Mr. Alert, I did that with Breaking Bad, but unfortunately, it was still running, so we like slammed into
Yeah.
like mid-series through series 4. Like, oh, this is boom.
Yeah, no, Iron Fist was pretty bad. I tried my best. I went in with an open mind. No, well, I'll be honest. I read on the internet everywhere that it was terrible. So I went in with the contrarian mind that I'm going to enjoy this. But I didn't.
I don't do that anymore. It's like, make me like you. Make me love you.
No, I very much enjoy being a contrarian, just for the sake of being a contrarian for the most part.
You just like
But-
arguing, man.
That too, but I still very much enjoy having like the contrary opinion. It's just that for a great deal many things I can't. I genuinely cannot.
I don't know, man. It's the I try to see both sides of things, but I don't intentionally play itty. Like
No,
devils.
that's one of the things very proud of myself is that I can usually see like all sides of an argument. But I will always, if there's even the slightest chance that the underdog, the minority is right, then I will be one of those contrarian gits.
Well, you see, that is like a psychological thing that has always hit me. Was I do have. I always go straight for the underdog.
Yeah.
Period. It's subconscious.
Yeah.
And it's like always rooting for AMD. Which apparently the 1700 collected 3.8 stomps all y'alls.
Of course it does. Mayor left a case of Mountain Dew clone at Strider's place.
That sounds like janky and dangerous enough to be interesting, doesn't it? Kind of. A little bit.
It's like, you want to give Strider stomach cancer? Sure. Oh, okay. You drank some of it, apparently.
No, he just said he took 4 cans, man. He could have been like some type of zombie survival thing with the earthquakes in L.A.
Yeah. I think I've had Mountain Dew a whole of twice in my life.
I don't know if I've ever had Mountain Dew. It looks too sweet.
It is.
Do they have a diet Mountain Dew? I might have had that, but I don't know if they do. I don't know if I've done the Dew, Pedro.
Did you do the do?
I did do the Dew, man. Can't be 100% on that. I can't.
Let's see. I had it once in Portugal. I had it once here. It tastes very much like lemon incest.
See,
I said it once and I will say it again.
the
That's what
worrying
it
part of
tastes
that
like.
is, it's not what he said, it's the knowledge of what he said.
Yes, they do have a diet one. Okay. Okay, apparently that link is a 502 Turbo Brad. Much appreciated.
Tried. An effort was made, man. Come on.
It tried, yes.
It did more than the people behind Project Cars getting that Linux port out.
They didn't even pull a Carmageddon with that one. Those just said, "Ha! Got your money. I'm out."
Well, you know, in all fairness, they've attempted to kick the can down the road with the.
Oh yeah, Project Cars 2 is totally going to have a Linux version, you guys.
And once we're done with the Project Cars 2 Linux port, then we'll make the first one, right? See? And some people are like, I totally believe that. That's great. Yay.
No. And I have absolutely no illusions that the Carmageddon... I know Hanlon's Razor says, don't attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity, but that penguin video that Carmageddon put out is way too malicious to be stupid. That was deliberate.
No, I mean, it's just after watching those two yahoos burn through $3 million and only put out something that was critically panned, it's like, good luck with all future endeavors.
Yeah.
I mean, in the gaming industry, it's like you just burnt your nostalgia credit to naught. You're done.
Mm-hmm.
You had one shot.
Oh yeah, Divinity Original Sin 2. I backed the original Divinity Original Sin on Kickstarter. Took him a long fucking time to actually put out that Linux version. I'm just getting all the swear words out now. Yeah, no, I will believe that Divinity Original Sin will come to Linux when it is, if it ever is.
Man, you know, Turbo Brad's kind of janky when, like, the Lucius developers giving it a hard time for not being, you know, functional.
I don't know, Turbo Brad is typing. It's been typing for a while.
It's perplexed. Turbo Brad's is like, have you tried to use Lutris?
No, Turbo Brad's going, do you realize you're talking to a bot?
Dun, 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 dun.
It took him a long time, but hey, at least they put out a version. Yes, they did. They put out a Linux version, and if I'm being very fair, honest, whatever you want to call it, it was a version that performed really, really well on Linux.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
It'll eventually work in wine. Be happy. That's all we need. Man. Whoa.
Yeah. That door likes to get stuck on the hinge.
Somebody... You keep telling yourself that.
I know that. I have tried to tighten it, loosen it. It doesn't make a difference. It's just crooked.
Sandpaper, man.
Not my place. I'm renting it, but not my place.
Then call up your landlord.
Oh, I've told him that.
Mm-hmm.
I told him that the door doesn't it just does not close. Even if you slam it shut, the
Then you
lock
got a pretty horrible
doesn't.
landlord, because I know if somebody, one of my tenants called me and they just like this door doesn't shut, and they had a picture of sandpaper. It was like, I got it. Even though I have a property management company, so I don't have to do that. It was like, don't even worry, I got this. I'll be over there.
You like the wall decoration? You mean the one poster I have there?
It's glorious.
Just one.
It's everyone's first Tux icon logo, avatar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in German though. Like there's a bit of text beneath the
Oh, jeez. Wow.
yeah. And it's all in German.
Wouldn't know what to do with that.
Most of them are Linux commands, and it gives you like it's the that old wallpaper that has the terminal commands cheat sheet. It's that, but the explanation of the commands is in German.
The terminal commands cheat. Oh, you mean Google?
Yes, if you Google for wallpaper cheat sheet Linux commands, yes.
I could Google something quicker than I could turn around and read off of wallpaper.
I don't read off of it. I know what those commands do. I've been using Linux a little while. But yeah, no, it's just it had the Tux logo, and I'm thinking, you know what? Much like this mouse pad, it's swag.
Oh, check it out. Turbo Bread's just revolting.
A German Tux, and we get birthday couple game. Okay.
Oh, man.
Mayor, you're the weeb. It's always time for anime.
Need some good anime. I don't know. Does that happen with, is my generation going to be the first generation? Because everyone's just like, well, you get to a certain age, you quit listening to new music. I live in Athens. I always get to listen to new music. That's one of the benefits. But do you get to the certain age where you're like, this new anime, I don't like it. I'm going to go back and watch Standalone Complex.
Going back and watching Standalone Complex is just fair.
I just haven't seen anything new lately.
Me neither. The newest thing I saw were the Ghost in the Shell OVAs.
New?
New, yes.
How new?
No, the new ones that they were making, yeah.
Oh.
I'm still waiting on the rebuild of Evangelion OVA, the 3.0 plus 1.0, which the creator just... He was doing it, and he said, nope, F it, I'm done with it, don't want to deal with this anymore, I'm going to go do something else. So it's been years since the last episode of that. It's already happening. There's already a lot of people who think anime industry is done. It may have lost some of its niche appeal in the West because it mostly became mainstream. I mean, it's anime. Everyone knows about it nowadays.
What Pedro's trying to say is Scarlett Johansson killed anime. Single-handedly.
If you've even the Japanese movies, if you've ever watched a real life reinterpretation of some anime, they're always terrible. They're all terrible. They're all bad. I saw the Death Note one. Oh, that's like the best. It's awful. It's pretty goddamn awful. I like Death Note, the anime. Liked it. It was a genuinely good, tight, condensed anime series. But no. Then again, don't pay attention to what I say because I like Bleach.
Never, I don't know. There's a ton of it. There's so much of it to sort through too.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be happy if we could just get some more Black Butler.
Not not going to happen.
All right, black sushi stuff, man.
You mean algae? Better than Naruto and Dragon Ball. Better than Naruto, yes. Better than Dragon Ball, that's debatable. I mean, it is basically the exact same story, but better. It's better animated, yes. But then again, they started. Let's see, Bleach. Bleach. The first season came out in 2003 or four.
Oh, yeah, Death Note, the Netflix thing. Not a huge fan of Death Note to begin with, but I saw that and it's like, oh, you're gonna Americanize it too. Oh, look at all the nope you piled on top of that sandwich. Yeah, no. I'd watch Iron Fist before I'd watch. For the realism.
Okay.
The accuracy. All right, I think we'll grab a drink and we can get started.
Yeah. I too need a refill.
Mm-hmm. Hold your horsepower for
I will.
Secarino and
10 episodes for One Punch. Yeah, and they're making a second season finally. That one I am actually waiting. Because the first season it was actually very fun to watch. One Punch Man. They made a deconstruction of all like the hero anime tropes. They put them all in one series and they put them all together and they made an awesome series out of that. It's like, yeah, all those cliches that you rely on that other people criticize you for, we made those work. We made those work really well. Oh, Attack on Titan. That was divisive. I won't say any more than that, but it was divisive. I liked it. Was that the Mexico City quake? No. It's just Turbo Brad's thing. My only real complaint about Attack on Titan is that they wrapped up the anime a little too early. Well, they released the anime a little too early, to be honest, because last I checked, the manga, spaced out as it may be, is still going. And it would have been nice if they'd put out more of that. Much like The Gray Man. Haven't watched through the second season because Crunchyroll's video player is causing the Flash plugin to hang in the middle of episode 30.
It's one of the reasons I can't watch anything on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll, I'd give you money.
Crunchyroll needs to dump Flash yesterday. Have you seen Irresponsible Captain Tyler? No.
Right. You gonna grab that drink?
Are you going to grab that drink, or can I go grab that drink?
I've already grabbed the drink.
All right, I'll be back.
Aw. Aw, man. Truggy. I know, man. Why does everybody hate on Reggie? Reggie's a cool guy. I like him. Went over to his house and we played Sonic the Hedgehog together. I don't know, man. Like, hating on... After like 20 years of hating on Microsoft, you get tired of it eventually. You're just, meh, all right, whatever. And you get it out of your system.
All right.
All right. Okay, P-State. I expect 1.4 from you, not 1.392.
What's that? You're streaming? Nah, it's fine.
I'll tell you, man, at 1.8 gigahertz, the 1700's perfectly stable at 1.385.
Mm-hmm.
Ish.
Yeah.
Every now and I had another. Okay, this is real talk, right quick before we get into this. I didn't catch it because, you know, if I'm not rendering anything, this thing will drop down to like 0.7 voltage, and which is good. You know, this 1700 is going to last us hopefully at least 5 years, and I started to do a transcode yesterday to render out something, and boop, and I kind of went over here to these monitors and I was doing something, and I kind of just looked right quick, like in the first 4 seconds up here in the upper right hand corner, I noticed it was at like 1.2 volts, and I was like, nope, 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 and I tried to get over to the stop button on the render, and the system went pshit. It just didn't click for some reason. It should have jumped up to 1.4 and stayed there. Boop, boop, boop. Hey, Empty's figured out how to use the live audio room. Hey, man, you can put the Discord app on your mobile and just be like, pop.
Yep.
Okay. I think we are ready to go. What did you get a little bottle of, or is your loo not working?
That's whiskey.
Couldn't tell, man. I thought you might have went a little Howard Hughes on me.
No. It's like the cheapest whiskey at Tesco. And it's a teeny tiny bottle, too.
Tesco whiskey. Ooh.
Yeah.
They
sell the famous grouse, and I'm looking at the bottles like, that's good whiskey.
Okay. When I was... they don't have booze at Poundland yet, do they?
Not that. I think they have beer.
Okay, they might have beer. They didn't have beer when I was there. Okay, I was like, what would be sadder than buying booze? Well, see, Tesco's like a big thing now. You got to realize,
Yeah.
like a decade ago, man, it was a petrol station. So,
No, nowadays they're kind of like the British Walmart.
yeah, it's the everything place.
Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah, Tesco whiskey. Yeah, there's nothing. They sell. That's what. Oh man, at Walmart's, you genuinely can go ATF.
ATF?
You know, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I always thought that'd make a really great convenience store.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually do this at an American Walmart. You can get a shotgun, a bottle of whiskey,
Well, you
and
can't get a shotgun or firearms of any kind at Tesco, but yeah, you can get cigarettes, you can get booze, you can get food, you can get anything outside of firearms. You can get knives, yeah. Living in Britain and drinking blended whiskey is a sign of alcoholism. As someone who did most of the Linux Gamecast weeklies in Portugal, piss drunk,
hammered.
do you honestly think that phases me in the least?
I mean, okay, all right. Like in all fairness, it wasn't when Jordan and I first started, because Jordan and I used to get wrecked. Then we started the show. But Pedro, to his credit, has forgotten the segments that he's done.
I did. Forgotten entire segments because I was just that drunk.
Right. Let's see. Yep. Empty's the only person to disappear live on air with a webcam on. Just never came back. All right, let's go.
Yes.
I keep saying that, but something interesting to talk about comes up.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go get a tax stamp for my Dodge Magnum tomorrow. All right, let's see.
In totally not Soviet Russia, you guys.
All right.
Wait, hold on. I didn't update the thing. Sorry. I forgot to update my notes with the rundown thing. Okay, there we go. Got it.
All right. Take two. After that... Plasma opens the vault.
The EFF throws in the towel.
Pipewires coming to Fedora.
And an open source YouTube client?
That's another great day for Linux, everyone. Let's go. 3, 2... And welcome back to Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays, where we sit back, relax, and take a break to talk about the fascinating things that we found going on in the world of penguins. I'm Ben Stone, joined every week by one Pedro Montes. What's up, buddy?
Hello, I have a new chair.
You got a new chair? Show me that chair.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's an
see.
alright looking chair, if we're being honest. It's not blue like everything else. It's actually got red stripes, means it goes faster. I don't know where it goes faster, but it definitely goes faster.
Well, according to Popey,
oh yeah, El Cheapo Amazon chair. He's got the exact
I
same
got
one.
that one. It might go fast, but not necessarily all the pieces will arrive at the same time.
No, all the pieces arrived at the same time. It's just that they will start dropping at different times. And the chair has this nasty tendency that if you actually lean all the way back, it snaps into the like the lounge position.
Oh, where your brain's like, you're about to fall. You need to
you're
flip
about
out
to
and
fall,
do
but
this.
you actually
Right.
don't fall. So yeah.
It's kind of brilliant. Hey, man, I got this. Look at that. Look at that new hotness.
Woohoo! Big chair.
Thank you, Truggy. We'll be thanking you properly later on into the show. But speaking of that, let's get right into this because Ike did an incredibly long live stream with a few of his
Oh, yes,
BFFs, right?
yeah. So if you may or may not know, Budgie 11 is supposed to be like the big new and improved version of Budgie, which is the default desktop environment for Solus, and there's even a Ubuntu spin with Budgie by default. It's one of Ike Doherty's babies, and on the 16th, Ike actually did a live stream of him basically going in and trying out a bunch of different things and just moving the development along. Now, according to Ike, because honestly, I didn't have almost 7 hours to watch the live stream, and according to him, it was just 5 seconds short of 7 hours. Himself, Joshua Strobel, and Brian Myers all took part in one way or another. For his part, Ike says that most of what he did was complain about how much he hates C++. He also mentioned to get rid. He also managed, not mentioned, to get rid of most of the QML in the Raven panel thing that Budgie uses. He did a couple of more things, and most of the work right now is actually going to Ferry D, which is the backend repo manager for Solus. So basically, getting the package management, repo management to be that much faster, which is the big goal right now. And no one really seems to care about that. And it's what I told Ike. That's a good thing. If your users, if you're working really hard on something that your users don't really care, that's good. They don't care, and you get to do whatever you want. So as long as it doesn't affect them, they will continue not caring, and you can keep on doing whatever you want.
I'm glad he had a good time with that, and like 7 hours. That's even pretty epic live stream for the likes of us. Solus is a very interesting project. It's definitely come quite a long way in a short amount of time.
Oh yeah.
Budgie, what's that all about, though? I mean, listen, I haven't had a chance to play around with it on the desktop because reasons.
Because you have that one environment that you seem to really enjoy. But no, it's a GTK 3 based desktop environment. It's not GNOME. It actually falls more into the traditional desktop environment category. It's not a HUD like GNOME 3. It's got a panel, it's got a menu, it's got a task manager with the window list. You can have a panel with a dock type of thing situation, similar to how Windows 7 works out of the box. There are a lot of customization options, which is something that you don't get in GNOME by default. The GNOME team actually cut out a lot of the customizability in order to offer exactly their vision, exactly what they wanted. But in Solus, you can actually go in and customize a lot of different things, and there's a lot of custom things already built into Budgie, which actually makes the desktop look and feel really modern while retaining that traditional desktop environment thing. Yeah.
Well, if we're going to talk about desktops, we need to talk about Plasma and the new beta 5.11. So tell me about it. Never heard of it.
Well, this is there's a new version of Plasma coming in, which is version 5.11. And right now they have a beta out, version 10. What was it? 10.9.5, something like that. And they have a bunch of different things. The task manager, like the new version, will have a task manager that allows for custom actions without the application having to statically reference those same custom actions in the desktop file. It may just work with a great deal many bits of software already, but the ones that don't will still need to be updated to allow this. There's a GUI for managing encryption. They call it the Plasma Vault, which allows you to set encryption on a per directory basis if you want, or the entire home directory if you didn't set it on the whole root directory right from the start. The There's one thing it can do with Wayland, and only Wayland so far, which is it can have different DPI settings on a per monitor basis.
Now, this was definitely one of the big things that I looked at because, Plasma, the Wayland compositor, it can now just automatically apply the scaling, based on the density of the screen and do it. This is the brilliant part for each different screen. You're like, why would that ever be a thing? Look,
As someone who has four differently sized screens around
right,
them right now,
and
yeah.
especially one of them is 3840 by 2160. This the struggle's real, ladies and gentlemen, and quite frankly, this is good on you, KDE. I don't use KDE. I don't use GNOME. Nothing against them. Every time I try them, this feels like a very closed-in ecosystem. It makes me want to run off and buy a Mac. But
GNOME, yes. KDE, not so much.
Yeah,
Actually,
maybe not.
KDE, that's what seems to drive people away from KDE the most, is you can customize everything.
Well,
Literally everything. And people go, oh, what? No, the analysis paralysis? People, no, just not having any of that, and they go back to, like, GNOME.
probably. I mean, that's definitely a thing. But I think every desktop manager, even my beloved XFCE, sort this. This is a real thing that needs to be fixed because currently, like right now, with XFCE, if I want to, it can kind of auto manage. It does what I like to call good enough for government work. Between 1080p screens, these funky, slightly higher than 720p screens. But if you manually play around with the DPI settings, it embiggens them on everything else, which looks ridiculous and can make a smaller screen completely unusable. So I say good on them for that. But we do have another thing going on. Just a quick mention, don't we, for the...
Oh, yes. Which is also in the heels of the KDE story, which comes from Martin. I'm probably going to butcher that. Martin Graslin. Graceland? Something like that. And he says that today his project, X-Free Kwin, that's just a Kwin window manager, reached a huge milestone. He succeeded in starting Kwin Wayland instance, which does not start X Wayland anymore and does not require any X11 interactions whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Finally. Took you long enough. But this is actually a good thing. It's KDE. If you are a KDE fan, as much as I would like to be a KDE fan, I used to be a KDE fan back in the old after 4.9 days. Because before that it was terrible. But yeah, Wayland is the future. If we are to believe that, then all of the desktop environments will eventually at some point have to support it. And it's,
Well, I mean, then again, on that exact same note, I was reading a blog post where they're working on getting Mir to work with Wayland. So yeah, Wayland's the future.
yeah.
That's definitely a thing. This getting rid of X, getting rid of that shim, getting rid of that dependency, especially since NVIDIA walked in. And I'm sorry, yes, you want to scream, but if you're dealing with like production, real work, and you got to get stuff done, I know. Don't worry, we have a contact section that you can tell me how wrong I am.
Yes.
The proprietary NVIDIA drivers, and NVIDIA kind of walked out and said, yeah, we're not going to be dealing with that. So...
Because that's actually the issue that a lot of people have with the NVIDIA drivers, which is NVIDIA is using a different way of running EGL streams, while everyone else is using the other way. I can't remember them both exactly offhand, but they're both handling things differently. I think NVIDIA is doing EGL streams, but the actual Wayland developers want them to use the other way. So, yeah, no, there's a big kerfuffle going on there, and honestly, I don't know who to side with. The underdog, the person who roots for the underdog in me wants to say, yeah, no, it's they are the Wayland developers. They should know better. So Nvidia needs to kind of, set aside their ego. Their
No, listen, NVIDIA will get around to it when they need to get around to it. I kind of understand where they're at right now, as we got bigger stuff to worry about. Because when you think about just the entire footprint of the installation of Xorg,
yeah, that's a sizable chunk.
But even that's just a fraction of Mac or Windows.
So, yeah, it is.
You're talking about a sliver of a percent, and it's like, NVIDIA, why aren't you focusing on this right now? This thing's just give it time. They've been pretty good with that. I guess we got to bring this up, man.
Oh yeah, this was the big one.
Yeah. So this happened. World Wide Web Consortium has abandons consensus with 4% support. EFF resigns. That's a rough title you got going on there. Boing boing. What went down? Because the whole DRM thing has just been all over the place since forever and a day. They tried to take basically what? A vote? Is that what they went for? Like, who wants this in?
Yep. There was a vote on the appeal because, as you may remember, we talked a long time ago that the EFF was considering introducing DRM. Well, not the EFF, but the W3C was considering introducing DRM into the standard of how the World Wide Web works. But obviously the EFF doesn't like that because it's DRM. It doesn't respect your rights. It only respects the rights of the companies who own the copyrights, the IPs, whatever you want to call them. So that's an issue. And the EFF, they may have their flaws, but they're the ones out there fighting for our rights as users of the internet. All of our digital rights, they are actively fighting for them. And DRM, whether or not it's inevitable, it is. But it removes some of our rights. You may or may not agree with how Stallman put it, but he kind of has a point. When you accept DRM, you are literally giving away your freedom and putting it in the hands of, say, Netflix or whomever. So Boing Boing wrote an article. There's also an article, the open letter itself from the EFF as to why they resigned. But the thing was that the EFF very much opposed the introduction of DRM to the web standards with their own right. And there was a vote for the appeal that the EFF put in to repeal the DRMs going into the standard. So there was that vote, and that vote came back as a 58.4% in favor of introducing DRM
Pedro, no, granted, my maths might be a bit rusty, but 58.4 in favor is, okay, numbers work. Like, if there's more of one number than another number. Then... Yeah. So...
But that's the thing. The thing nowadays is that the W3C was supposed to stand for the open standardization of the internet.
They did, man. And they even had a thing with, like, compromise. A bunch of proposed compromises, and W3 just stonewalled them. Didn't do anything. They're like, nope, forget it. And here's the thing. It's kind of sad. It's a sad day. It is. But if we got to do real talk, we were talking before the video stream went live.
Yeah.
You know, I was personally just like a little shocked that so many people honestly believed that DRM wasn't getting in. And
anyone who's been on the internet up to now has seen what YouTube has done, has seen what Netflix has done. The simple fact that we have Netflix working on Linux is solely because DRM is a thing in Google Chrome. If it wasn't, we wouldn't be able to watch Netflix natively on Linux right now. So it was very much inevitable.
At a low bit rate at 720p. Thank you, Netflix. You truly. No, man. That's kind of a sad thing that went down, but it happened. It's not going to get reversed. It's not going to change. Our wonderful overlords have decided that's DRM's a thing, and DRM, it's junk. It sucks. It only affects the end users, the people who pay for stuff. And
because the pirates are going to keep on pirating and getting the better service out of it.
I understand a lot of this is like you don't want DRM encumbered stuff for archival purposes. That's definitely a thing, and it's going to hinder several things. So I agree with you that, yeah, the EFF did right. It's like, peace, we're out. And
yeah, the EFF at this point, this was the only thing they could do, because if the World Wide Web Consortium doesn't want to stick up for the same principles that the EFF has wanted to stick up, and ideally, the two were very much in line.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore, so the EFF is going their way. The W3C is basically bending over to the corporate overlords and saying, give me money, daddy.
So let's talk about something that's a little more entertaining. Let's talk about the results of the Ubuntu Desktop Application Survey. That's right, this is kind of the 1804 LTS roadmap, because the best way to decide things is let the internet vote on it, right? Right.
Bodie McBoatface.
I'm going to say this again to any news outlet, media outlet, or anything like that. If you claim that you've had an online poll and the number one result wasn't whatever, make whatever face, you're lying to your audience, and we all know. Okay, I just needed to get that out of my system. From the Canyon Edge. These are just like the legitimate results. You want to go through a couple of them? Take a look.
Sure. If you go to Dustin Kirkland's blog, he has the
total responses.
The slides at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot of responses there, and if we're being honest, a lot of the let's see, a lot of the answers were very much in line with what me and Ven and most of everyone who uses Linux.
I mean, I'm definitely looking at most of the selections are logical. We're looking at the browser, Firefox just blowing away Chromium, Chrome, Vivaldi, Opera, Tor, Lynx.
If it is a default browser, let's keep Firefox.
See, I had a problem reading a lot of these graphs. I was like, what's that? What's that? What's that? And I had to go,
But then again, you get to... Well, VLC wins, obviously. Although I am kind of surprised to see MPV in second place.
Yeah, Totem, SM Player, M Player. How the mighty have fallen, M Player. Gnome Video, no, whatever, Cody, Parole, Zine. Oh, wow, I haven't. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, no, there was actually, and there was that one person who voted Emacs for everything, obviously. And they also have one for IDE.
Well, email is predictable. We're going through the slides right now.
Well, yeah.
Thunderbird, Gmail, Evolution, Geary, Kmail, Mutt, nope, where's Pine? Where's Pine? I don't see Pine.
Thunderbird is a very good
email.
Oh,
Pine's dead last, son. Wow. All right. Text editor, get it, gedit. You know it, you love it. It's unmaintained. Go help maintain it.
It's self-contained. It works. It's stable. It's got a ton of plugins.
I got to be honest with you, man. I'm surprised to see Nano in fourth place.
Well, let's be honest. Not everyone agrees with the whole Emacs and Vim thing. There are a lot of people who just like getting stuff done.
Let me rephrase it. I'm surprised to see Kate above Nano.
Oh, Kate's pretty good.
I don't know. Gedit. Office Suite. Well, come on. Well, let's just skip that one. Music
Unless
player.
For some reason, Microsoft Office came out for Linux, which I don't see it happening.
Listen, I know the home audience. You're watching this on video unless you're watching the recorded version, because this is hard to read live right now. VLC
is
Rhythm
winning.
Box.
Yes.
Yeah.
VLC is winning the music player poll. Strider, deal with it.
That's a thing. File browser. Nautilus, Dolphin. Where's Thunar? Thunar. There you are. First, second, third, fourth. All right. I wouldn't. What else? Of course, XFCE, File Manager, Terminal, FileZilla, PC Man. All right.
Yeah.
Terminal.
I mean, this one, most people were used to Nautilus from the old GNOME 2 days when GNOME was the leading king in terms of Linux desktop environments.
Yeah.
Not anymore, though.
GNOME Terminal, followed by Terminator, followed. I always.
Terminator kicking in with the second place. Yes.
I enjoy. I used to always enjoy console, but I don't like installing the kitchen sink in order to run it.
Obviously.
Really? PDF reader? Come on, photo editor.
Events.
GIMP, of course.
GIMP,
followed
obviously.
by Darktable, which. All right, this guy.
As a raw photo editor, Darktable's is good.
IRC. Pigeon.
Yes, Pigeon.
What?
Now, this is one of the things I'm disappointed on. It's this one and the calendar one, which is for calendars, appointments, they pick GNOME Calendar, and for IRC, they pick Pigeon, rather than, say, Thunderbird or HexChat, which are the logical choices nowadays. Then again, at this point, I should know better than to underestimate the power of questionably opinionated people in large numbers.
Pigeon.
Yeah, lib purple.
Monsters. Moving on, calendar. GNOME Calendar, Thunder Chicken, Google Lightning. Very, very frightening. Mamma mia, let me go. Photo Viewer, no one cares. IDE, Visual Studio. This one.
It's like, yeah, you have a choice between an actual IDE right there in second place, and you go with the glorified Electron Wrap text editor. Really? Really? And one made by Microsoft, no less.
Frightening. Okay, now let's get to the beans. Video editor, Kitty and Live. Surprising.
With OpenShot coming with a very
close,
respectable second place. Yeah,
it really shouldn't, unless you're talking about the 4 or 5 year old version that works, because the 2X series is still junk.
Pretty sure that's what those people who voted for OpenShot are still using. Yes.
Yeah. Lightworks is in there somehow.
Okay, that one shouldn't be there.
DaVinci is... See, the problem with the DaVinci is... DaVinci looks really cool. I'm looking forward to playing with it, but I gotta have a Blackmagic card in order to do that. VLC, yeah, let's see. FFmpeg, which I'm guilty of using that for editing video. Handbrake, not really a video editor, Brad. No, it's a transcoder. Blender?
It is a DVD or a Blu-ray or video CD ripper. If you want to do that,
let's see. Let's go through. I think there's like 2 or 3 more. OBS, screen recorder, simple screen recorder, and a bunch of stuff that don't even bother with. Bonus apps. I agree with this. Why is HTOP not installed by default? That is one of the first things I do with
Replace top with HTOP.
Yes,
it's just better.
There's no reason not to. I mean, I like having top and HTOP because sometimes if I'm in actual TTY, I just want to pull up top and I want to shift A that so I can break it down. Personal preference.
Even then, HTOP is already, if you set like the tree view by default, it's just better.
I don't know, man. Well, I mean, that's a thing. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to 1804 LTS because that's what this box is going to be running.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to stay running it forever. Well, until the next LTS, which hopefully will be by the death of the box. It's usually the way we have it spaced out. It's like the year before we do a box upgrade, the next LTS come out, and I'll scream and complain for about a month. Then I'll finally go around to getting it done. So, one thing that if I can figure out how to get this thing at a full screen, there it goes. Boop. This made me really happy because growing up with Red Hat, then Fedora, Core, Sirius, starting with one. Fedora used to be known for, do you want something that technically boots? I mean, that should have been Fedora, technically boots. Hashtag YOLO. I mean, I think it was like Fedora 24 I installed. It's like, that's boring.
Yeah.
I didn't learn anything because nothing broke horribly.
Yeah, ever
Well,
since Fedora, I think 14 was the one that everyone seems to agree that was the stable Fedora that everyone seemed to like, everyone seemed to enjoy. So from then on, it's been, outside of Fedora 17, which is when they, or Fedora, no, Fedora 15, which was when they introduced GNOME 3. That was the big, it's like, nope, not having any of that. Bye.
I gotta be honest. What we're about to talk about is Pipewire, Pulse Video, if you will, or PP. Not kidding. No, Peenies. Peenies. That's what it was. Also, not kidding. Not making this up. And this makes me kind of all the happy and excited to play with Fedora again, because this is a bit mental. This is going to break stuff, and it's going to break stuff hard. And that makes me excited. It's one of the reasons I really have always enjoyed cutting edge stuff. You know, so it's like when it's released and there's like, it's probably not going to work.
Nope.
But let's take a look. Let's get over to the web zone. Yeah, man, they're definitely launching the Pipewire, and it seems that they've learned some things from the rollout of Pulse Audio. Because
You think?
yeah, they're not going to do it all at once, because right now this is just going to be the video component. The audio component is going to come later, and it's going to be a replacement for your G streamers. It's going to allow a lot better where you're not using two different systems for audio video sync and all that fun stuff. And you know, this is basically to get just a single pipeline for audio and video under Linux that will play nice with Wayland. And, as they say in the blog post, flat packs, which I find ludicrous because we all know Snap is the future. The Pipewire compositor for the video is going to let us do so many neat streamy things, man. I mean, from just streaming your desktop to the video calls, it's just going to be so portable. That makes me so happy. Think about it. Just the way it's built together with Pipeline, genuinely making your own Steam link now becomes trivial. Yeah, I mean, with the routing options, you're going to have some of the power of Pulse Audio, like routing to your Android device or anything like that through your home network, but with video.
Yeah. And that's kind of the really awesome thing about Pipewire is that it's coming to replace GStreamer, which anyone who's ever had an issue with GStreamer, specifically GStreamer, you know when you're having a specific GStreamer issue because you Google for the issue you're having and everyone's shouting, oh yeah, that's GStreamer's fault. So yeah, no, I am all for finding something to completely obsolete GStreamer. And if Wayland is the future, we're going to have to get rid of GStreamer right quick.
Well, I think that's one of the important things we should bring up is this is going to be a viable, laying the groundwork for like the stuff we're doing right now, desktop recording. We're going to need tools like this. And yeah, I got a spare box now that's currently running our Rainbow Bridge video server, but something tells me it's because it's got like a 560 in it now or something like that. It's going to be running with this. I want to play with this. I'm excited, Pedro.
Yeah, and it would be really neat if they could get it done. But right now, with Fedora 27, they will only be providing video. So audio. We'll have to wait and figuring out the interaction between Pipewire and Pulse Audio. That's going to be interesting.
It's exciting. Days ahead. Before we get out of here, not necessarily Linux. Well, not really, but it's open source, and it's like, this thing just kind of almost became usable, didn't it? That's man.
Yes, it did. With the latest version, they introduced the what do they call it?
Well, we're talking about
new pipe.
New pipe. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
which
it?
is
Never heard of
a
it.
YouTube client. It is one of those clients that lets you watch YouTube videos without you having to go to the YouTube website. And they added two teeny tiny bits of functionality, which to me are very important, which is basic channel subscription and feed pages and search slash watch history. Now, you're thinking to yourself, yeah, but if you log into your YouTube account, you can already do that. Well, that's kind of the point. You don't have to log into your YouTube account. You don't have to use the YouTube API in any way at all this does is it scrubs the YouTube website, pulls down like the bare minimum amount of stuff that it needs for you to watch the videos, and everything else is done by the client itself. The channels you subscribe to, they're not associated with your YouTube account, whether or not you have one. They're just in that client.
Mm-hmm.
All your history, view history, search history, it's not associated with your Google account if you have one. It's just in the client. That's really neat.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's people who want something collected where they could put together a playlist without the Goog spying on them.
Well, they already know everything you do anyway.
Well, it's like, what about your ISP? Like, oh no, click and unplug, and that's the last you ever hear of. It's free. I want to play with it. You do need F-Droid. Everyone install F-Droid. It's really awesome.
That's kind of the thing about this is that the way it's built, you can run it on any system, literally.
You can do that. I mean, you can sideload the APK if you want to play around with it with your Android device. I didn't get a chance. I meant to this week. I want to try it out because the video recommendation heck is so real.
What's that? You were Googling for pants the other day? Here's
no,
entire videos about pants.
9. What it is. Over a week ago, I watched one thing on the American Civil War about Abraham Lincoln. It thinks I'm a historian about the Civil War right now. That is like 60% of my recommendations.
To be fair, it keeps suggesting stuff about toy cars, which I'll admit, YouTube, you got that right. That's something I've always enjoyed ever since I was a kid. Like teeny tiny die-cast toy cars. Love them. So thank you.
Hey, man, I want to thank some other people. The people who make this show possible. That's right. You can support this business, if you want to call it a business. You can also support what we do on Saturdays. That's the big train wreck. Choo choo by heading over to linuxgamecast.com. Checking out the support button. I want to thank each and every single one of you who have shopped through our affiliate links on Amazon. Doesn't cost you a dime. We get a little taste of that action. That stuff adds up. It lets us do more and bigger things, a.k.a. we got a little studio now. We're going to start doing some more. Looking forward to it. Wish list. Not necessarily a wish list. It's more like things we plan on buying. So check it early. Check it often. And anything you pick up on that, I actually got a picture of Frank this morning. You end up on Frank's fine, upstanding cannibal wall. Look at that.
He seems really happy with that. Like...
He was, man. He was heading out. Everyone knows Frank does choir practice on Wednesdays. And I have been trying to say, why don't you adopt a more mainstream religion, man, like voodoo? But the new name on there was Truggy because Truggy's like, hey, man, I see you got a chair on that. And I was like, yeah, it's pink. What you can do about it?
Turbo pink.
Oh, look at this. For your audio listeners, I'm turning around, showing off my pink chair.
Turbo pink chair, seriously.
It's one of those good chairs that hurts your back because your back's so crooked. But yeah, man, thanks to each and every one of you who do that. We have some PayPal donato buttons, as Pedro likes to say, and but the big thing is we want to thank our party patrons because that's a way for us to give back to you for supporting us. I mean, you get your name in the credits. You get access to our private Discord chat where close to 100 people are hanging out right now. Access to audio-only streams, early access to show notes. And, if you're feeling adventurous, you can buy your way onto the show. I mean, it's a dare. We have people at that level, just nobody's taking the Pepsi challenge on that. But we are coming up on our 250 goal. Currently 170 patrons backing for our 211 per Saturday night train wreck. So we're doing 4 streams a week with that. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. If you've been thinking about joining us, come over to the dark side. It's we have cookies.
Kick us a few shekels. We won't ever let you down. Well, we will keep on letting you down, but that's kind of what you're
Hey,
buying
man.
into, I
Well,
guess.
it's the best tech news without any of that pesky accuracy. That's what I like to say. Thanks so much. Come check the
Yeah.
business out. But it's time for a slice of pie.
Yeah, a teeny tiny one this week.
Well, I don't know. It's a pizza pie. Edible cheese plate with arranged pepperoni flavored meat slices.
Yeah, those are well, if that's cheese, it looks really, really good.
If that's cheese, it looks diseased, and it rhymes.
No, that looks really, really good.
Really,
But yeah, no.
you're just giving me like weapons. It's like, okay, cheese traps. He's susceptible to cheese traps. Is all I'm hearing.
I'm a mouse. No.
No. I'm a man. Slice of pie.
I am a banana.
This is a
Sorry.
great little segment that we get to do. Just anything Raspberry Pi or small and Raspberry Pi-ish related, because where I was going with that, we would get some weird submissions.
Oh yeah.
No, man. NEC has partnered with Canonical on the Kubuntu cores, man. This is truly not like groundbreaking. Actually, I would have lost this bet, but I think it's a start because it's the Compute Module 3 that we covered on the show quite some time ago. But NEC is going to be taking their 40 and 55-inch signage displays. Think about when you go to a fast food restaurant or someplace like that, or at the aeroports, and plug this in. They're like, hey, it's secure, it's easy, and all that. We're going to hook up and make it a thing. To which, just kind of looking through it, and I was like, okay, all right. What do you think, Pedro? I think that's a smart marriage, right?
It is. It is taking a dumb quote unquote panel and turning it into a smart device, which
Well, I
then
mean, the
begs the
compute
question.
modules are going to be able to run the Ubuntu core, and with Screenly, they can use them like IoT devices or like standalone units. So if you ever need to upgrade them to add new functionality, which you probably never will for most of these things, but
Yeah.
it's nice that you don't have to replace the entire piece of kit.
Yeah, it is definitely. If say you bought a smart TV right now, and a couple of years down the line, there's one with a much better processor that can flick through the different settings much faster and through the different inputs much faster, and it's got awesome refresh rate and all that. Well, the refresh rate, you're probably still stuck with the same panel, but for all those background processing needs, yeah, if you have one that just uses a compute module which you can change around all you want, yeah, that makes upgrading it that much easier.
This is true. And this kind of throws right back to what I've said every time we've ever mentioned the compute module is this. Because NEC, Raspberry, listen to me, okay? There's a market that desperately is looking for a good, high quality, dumb TV. Nice UHD 3840 2160 UHD display that's really pretty. Why? Because we're going to plug it into our Chrome stick, our Fire Stick, our Plex server. That one person.
Steambox, if you're insane enough.
Steambox, man. That one person that still has a Myth TV system hooked up. That's what we're looking for. This, you're like, wait, you can throw in a pie, just like clicks in the back, flush against. You got a market right there. Now you're going to be selling this to industry. So there's a 300% markup on it because of reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you can make a piece like this, 50, 55 inch or 40 inch, really,
Yeah.
that
40
looks
inch.
decent for like 400 wet stinky American caches. You got my money. I'll buy one of those because I can also use it for a display for this show. That can become a screen that I can do a lot of cool things with other than just shove a Chromecast in it and be done with it.
Yeah, no, I am with you. And there's a lot of smart TVs out there nowadays, which are, well, calling back to the whole DRM thing, very much locked down. Very much you can't do anything with them. And with the Raspberry Pi compute module, you can do whatever you want with your TV. Basically, the panel at that point becomes like a regular monitor. So yeah, no, it's we need to see more of these, please.
It's still early days, right? But hey, man, if you have an idea of what that compute module would be better served in, maybe you could tell us about it. Maybe you could contact us somehow. I don't know. Do you think there's a way that could be made possible?
I don't know. There was always that button that left me curious. When you go to linuxgamecast.com, there's a button on the navigation bar at the top that says contact. There's a form there. It looks way too complicated for me. I'm really dumb. So I never figured it out. But I guess if you pick LWDW on the thing and you fill it out, I can't ever get past
Listen,
the
man,
captcha.
don't blow a gasket. I'm not paying for another therapy session because you tried to figure out how to use our contact form.
Yeah, contact form, fill it out. It's pretty easy. Send us your message, send us your feedback, send us your suggestions. Really, if you have something to say about the show, we just spent almost an hour screaming at you. Scream back at us.
All right. Coming in, because we were just talking about using Linux in general last week. And why or not... it's going to be the year of the Linux desktop, he's been saying for the past 20 years. Why aren't more people using Linux? And what is the legitimate roadblock in 2017? I think was very, very close to what was said. And Johnny wrote in. He said, man, I have no idea. I have no idea why people still use Windows. Linux and BSD are so superior and less problematic overall. I really have no major complaints with Linux, other than it'd be nice if game developers make their games available for Linux.
Here you go.
Most Windows DX9 games run very well via Wine, Lutris, and play on Linux. Hey, I totes agree with you on that, girlfriend.
He kind of answered his own question there.
That's the thing, man. Why do people still use Windows? Question mark, you might ask. Let me tell you why. The answer is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. It's bad parenting. Okay? That's our main problem facing the world today. But look at it this way. If you want to run Windows, you want to run Haiku, if you want to run Mac, if you want to run DOS or Amiga, there's those people, man. Don't tango with them. They will mess you up.
They exist.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Run it, own it, enjoy it. I have friends that run Windows. They're like, yeah, I just like Windows, man. It's easy. And I've after the first 13 or 14 years of process trying to get everyone to convert, it gets a bit thin. Then you realize, if they're interested, then you teach them. But what you really need to do at the end of the day is just stop with, if, I think, Pedro, you'll even agree with me in this, if thing X was on Linux,
Yeah.
I would switch, and you use that as an excuse. Stop, because you won't. You never will, because soon as thing X lands on Linux, field goal, gets moved back over here, and
Well,
there's a new
thing
thing
Y
X.
was released the other day, and it's really awesome. I got really into it, so yeah, no, I can't change the Linux.
Oh, here's
Just
my favorite.
cut it
My
out.
favorite's the Adobe, because everyone thinks the Adobe is the safe thing.
Oh yeah, Photoshop.
They're like, well, Photoshop, I got to do that. And I was like, cool, man. Can you give me? And I asked this very nicely. I was like, do you got like a DeviantArt LinkedIn profile? Do you get a portfolio set up I can go take a look at? Silence. And it's like, right.
There are those people who legitimately.
Well, they are. I know them. Artists, man. Scott McToad. I'm sorry, Scott.
Yep.
I love you. I know you listen. But he probably couldn't get away with doing what he does under Linux. And it's like, all right, I get that. When it comes to games, would I like to see more AAA titles? Yeah. What do you think in 2017, Pedro? Because I think there's like a 25-30% half expecting. It's like, that could come to Linux. I mean,
Yeah, you go. Oh, okay. So that publisher had Feral or Aspire or whomever do that port one time. Maybe we could get a Linux version out of that.
This is a true thing. We have someone to go to.
Yeah.
We could be like, hey, could you get in contact? We would like you to But when it comes to indie titles, whew, I have more games than I will ever be able to. We have more games collectively at Linux Gamecast between the three of us than. I mean, it blows my mind as somebody who, when, I thought Linux gaming was here to stay when Loki first came out, and I had my little heart broken and stomped on. But now it's just such a bizarre place to be. It's like I have games in my Steam library that I've never played, and that's a legitimate thing in 2017. I'm very happy that it is, and I think the penguin's out of the bottle, man. I mean,
oh yeah, definitely. The Linux is very much playing with the big boys now, and every now and again, I like to bring up the fact that Linux has more games available on Steam alone than the Xbone and the PS4 combined.
so
How about that?
there is that. Let's see. Hey, man, what's his face from?
Oh yeah, that Canadian dude. What we do a show on Saturday with.
Jordan's Fig himself, man. What did he say, man? I think he was reading the show notes as he's.
Oh yeah, he was very much reading the show notes, and he kind of threw in his 2 cents with the W3C DRM thing. And he said, the looming specter of this was on the horizon for a while. The TV and movie industry have this strange stranglehold on technology, further enforced by a desire by tech companies to not cross them for some reason. Money. That's the S was replaced by a $. I don't think it's people surprised that it got in. I think people are mad at how easily W3C rolled over, and Jordan is very much so. And I am kind of with Jordan on this one, because as someone who I don't like to get political when it comes to why I use Linux, because I don't use Linux for political reasons. I use Linux because everything is just so much more straightforward, and I get to actually control my operating system for it change. And the fact that you can't do that with the web anymore, or at least that's where we're headed, I agree.
Well, the web is. I mean, yeah, it's going to be it's the operating system of the future. Everything's a web zone and an application. If you think I'm joking, man, just open up HTOP and crack open a copy of Twitter. If you don't think you're running an app, you're delusional. No, I agree with. They were bought off. They were taught by their DRM overlords. It's like, this will get in, and there was like, okay, and that realizations like that can be soul crushing.
Yeah,
and I have to say, I've been through too many of where it's like, this is going to happen. Watch. The entire time, I've had the optimistic hippie beat out of me. The only thing I have
everyone's you still have that optimism inside you. You go, maybe, just maybe. You may not voice it, but you go, maybe things will work out the way that it makes sense.
Well, I think
and
you
everyone
look
realizes
at it,
that
you say to yourself, I would like to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, that would be nice every now and again, but no, we're far too jaded at this point.
And on that delightful closing, I think that's going to round us out for this week, but we will be back next week. Hey, I think we got to remember, if you're listening to the... I want to thank Jesse over at distrowatch.com. Our feed's back up. Every time I change the feed, I got to remember, because he does a weird thing with how that works, and I hit him up this morning, like me getting up early, and he hit me right back. He was like, yo, it's done, taken care of. But if you're listening to the audio, there's a video component. If you want to come check out our ugly mugs, also linuxgamecast.com, hit that business up for all the show notes, links, descriptions, and you can watch us ramble on against each other about all the fun stuff. Video versions. There's a podcast. You can download just the audio, subscribe to it, listen to it. While you're on a jog, let's face it, you don't jog, but while you're at work stuck in that horrible, horrible cell of a cubicle, maybe you can do some of that business. If you want to get a hold of me, I'm just at Vinstone on Twitter, or you can just type in Vinstone on Google. The best way to get a hold of me, though, let's just be real, use the contact button because all three of us will get those emails. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And for me, well, there's a thing down here. It's at unaccounted for on Twitter or plus with those on Google Plus. Shout at me, either of those. Chances are I will get back to you. Maybe not right then and there, but at some point during the day, I will have finished what I need to do at work for that particular time period, and I will get a chance to go on my phone and do some.
I'm just saying, good
Social
luck,
networking.
ladies and gentlemen. If he gets back to me in the same day, I'm floored. So, I'm shocked. Hey, here comes the credits. Listen to them if you want, but watch them because your name's in them.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of names in there, and I for one, am totally okay with it.
Yeah. Oh, he
Yeah.
loves the credits. It's got his name in it, too. So he's like, these are great. I love them. Best credits ever.
Yeah, they're the best credits because, let's be honest, they have all y'all's names on it. All y'all's who give us money, your name is there.
Support the show.
Yep. And apparently there's remember when Jordan called me Pablo?
I still
Yeah,
call you
and that's
Pablo.
kind of a thing at work now again too.
Good. I see my money was well spent. Okay, let's kill the credits.
Yeah, no, it totally is. The like the schedule that has everyone whether or not they're going to be in the office or going to be out for some reason. It doesn't say Pedro anymore. It says Pablo.
Aw. Life of Pablo.
Because much like Jordan, someone came in and instead of calling me Pedro, they knew it was a foreign name that started with a P, so they said Pablo.
Oh, that's a lawsuit. It's like it's because I use Linux, huh? Boo. Where you at? There you go. 16-bit signed wave. Export.
See you, Pennywise.
All right, down to fire, Pennywise. See you Saturday.
And Nathan, he is one of the dudes that works for a subcontracted company that provide the second and third line support for the Health Education England building that I work in. He has like a set of markers for the whiteboard where the schedule is, and every now and again he likes to go in and add some stuff. Just a little bit of look at empty space, and he adds something.
Dicks.
No. It's more subtle than that. Well, except for that one time when the ops team lead had a day off, and he put annual leave on the board, and we were talking, and it was kind of important for him to be in that day, so he went in and he wrote tit. And then the IT team lead sits right in front of the scheduled board, and she was doing a Skype video conference, and her webcam was showing the board, and everyone was tittering in the back because there was the word tit on the board.
Yeah, you should have walked back there and just like wanker.
Oh, no. See, the wankers are the iPhone charging cables because they're anchors. And basically all the boxes have a W in front of them now.
I just want everyone to know at the NHS, people who rely on the NHS for their health, that, there you go. Your IT department belongs on a short bus in the special ed. All of them.
Oh, no, the short bus was the other day because we usually take like the double-decker buses. When we leave, there's usually a double-decker bus. But the other day, it was one of the regular buses. So, oh, hey, we're taking the short bus today.
Have you taken a night bus yet?
No. Ah,
And if you missed it, we played some more Dying Light yesterday.
this one was actually a fun episode of We Suck at Dying Light. Yes.
Well, I mean, all credit goes to Harambe.
God damn it, tagline.
That we made some critiques on furniture and kitchen appliances.
There was a little bit of everything. There was some existentialism. There was some apocalypse survival tips, tactics, opinions. Ah. There will be more BFE, according to Jordan, tomorrow.
Oh, there's more?
Yes, there will be more.
I haven't checked the schedule, so... Yeah, Serious Fang's part of, like, Jordan's thing, so you can go... 7:30 Eastern Time. There you go.
There you go.
Done.
Do I have to quit my job to get the Patreon goal I have money for? I don't know, Strider. Chances are you could probably buy your way into Linux Gamecast Weekly. You don't have to quit your job then.
I don't know. There'll be some, like, we'll definitely be doing some BFE on Saturday night after show this week, so... We're gonna, like I said, we're doing this at different times. Right now, we're focused on getting Jordan's streaming rigs set up. So, like the last episode, it's not published anywhere because the audio is unusable. So yeah, no one's gonna have a groovy time chilling out with that. We're just trying to do it right, guys.
I want to play more Synergy to justify my 800 megabyte download. And no shitty airboats. What are you talking about, Rohit? Those airboats are awesome.
See, I don't have a problem with airboats. You know, Synergy mode, that was kind of fun. The problem with the airboats is 4 levels straight of nothing but airboats.
Yeah. It's kind of like in the first Half-Life, you have 4 levels straight of just rails. You're on a train. It's like the last time I played through Half-Life 1, I said, you know what? F that train. I'm out. I'm just going to walk. So much easier.
Yeah, Truggy, that Vulcan... Oof. Hey, listen, Vulcan's beautiful. It's awesome, but...
When it works.
Yeah,
because when it doesn't work, it's going to crash, burn, crash your entire X session.
That is also very true.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of the thing with low-level APIs.
Yep. It's an issue with the mixer. I think we'll be going over to UBS for that.
Remember that issue I talked about with the Steam overlay freezing the game?
You got the cream for it?
Yeah.
All right.
No, I didn't get the cream for it. It's gotten worse. It's affecting Windows now, too.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The Steam overlay freezing the game if you leave it open for too long or you use the web browser.
Why do you hate nature and you just burn power like that? I don't ever just leave a game running.
No, not leave a game running. Just open the overlay and say you're talking to someone on, like, one of your Steam friends. You're talking with them over the overlay. It will freeze the game. It's inevitable. And it used to not be an issue on Windows. It seemed to only affect Linux and Mac. But now it's an issue on Windows as well.
Veratunda, in what way is my RSS feed still fucked? We clocked about 3,700 downloads on it last week. Are you talking about for that GitHub plugin?
He posted a link to the Ubuntu podcast. Well, yes, that's an XML file. That's neat. You can get the XML version for our feed as well. All you have to do is click on the XML link It's just that the regular feed allows for the non-XML based pot catchers to show you more relevant information and provide better functionality.
Well, I know the feed works because I was testing it this morning when I was setting it up for DistroWatch.
Yeah.
And you can also just directly go to the website and click play. I mean,
Yep. Yep. You have the exact same player as you do on the Ubuntu podcast posts, which admittedly I listen to on usually on Thursdays on my way back from work. That's when I listen to the Ubuntu podcast.
let's see. Hmm. Got to subscribe. We got to listen. We got the download.
It's not a matter of can't reproduce or won't fix or it's not a bug, Strider. It's a matter of saying it's fucked doesn't really help. You need to be a bit more descriptive there, the naked truth.
Can't reproduce, won't fix, not a bug. That explains a lot about Lutris.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
Kind of does.
ooh, we got up to 51 degrees.
Oh, that's in bullshit American units.
No,
That's
CPU temp.
Oh, okay. I was about to Google how many 51 Fahrenheit was in Celsius.
I don't fuck it. Actually, I do because there's a thermostat down here, like this old ancient one that's probably fucking 50 years old. And it's got normal temperatures and freedom units on the top. Like,
Okay.
so you can figure out what's what.
All right.
So this is menu setup. Let me see if I can.
All the screens.
All the screens. Actually, where's Pedro? Burp. That's even worse, isn't it?
The DPI is just too high for that low resolution.
It's great, man. Where we at? Boop.
So you have the two teeny tiny crappy screens on the 770 and the two big ones on the 980.
I'm trying to. Let's see if I put it up on this one. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Get some idea what's going on. Display. Okay. Yeah, I got the 3840. That's the only thing on the 980.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's the way to go. Like,
Yeah.
have the highest resolution screen with the best video card. That way, when you start a game on that X screen, you're gonna get all the performance.
So, yeah, and everything else DVI, HDMI, and DisplayPort.
Yeah.
DisplayPort to HDMI or something. Everything's got a connector on it over here, man.
I have a DisplayPort to HDMI adapter because these monitors, Portuguese as they are, have 3 VGAs, 1 DVI, 2 HDMIs, and no DisplayPorts.
That's the even my 980 has a DVI on it. I'm like, why?
Yeah, my 1080 also has a DVI on it, but
What? I don't get it. I mean, it has 3 display ports and an HDMI on it.
1 HDMI, 3 DisplayPorts, and 1 DVI. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about ports. What do you want to talk? What port? What port would you like to talk about first, Strider?
Yeah. Let's see. I would like to talk about the difference between mini and micro HDMI. It just seems rather redundant.
I was actually thinking you could help discuss some of the ports that come out of the southern region. of Portugal.
Oh no, stay away from those. Those are crap.
Hmm.
No, seriously, you want to get one that's actually around the Oporto area in
Okay.
the north. Those are the good ones. That's the true port wine. That's where it comes from. The ones down in the south, you can get some good red wines down south, but stay away from the ports. Those are fake, and they're often actually done by British, retired British people who go there and start their own vineyards.
Spitting sick truth. You wanted port news? Now you get it.
Yeah, seriously, if you read Tawny on a port bottle, just go away. Unless you're using it for cooking, for some reason, just don't drink it. Don't.
Nope. I'm sorry. I don't. If I read port, it's translated into sugar water. I'm like, no.
Sugar wine, yes.
Yeah, the sugar water with some booze in it, man. Not my thing. So HTC, Google's going to buy HTC.
They bought Motorola, then sold them a while afterwards.
Well, they bought Motorola, did a brain drain, and got all their stuff they needed for their Google Pixel phones.
Yeah.
Then pooped out the husk and like, here set it free, little buddy, go. And HTC, we reported on Linux Gamecast a couple of weeks back that they were thinking about splitting, the phone division with the HTC Vive. This is why this is relevant, kids. Division. But now the news came out because we know that tomorrow HTC is putting its stock on hold. It's going to freeze it. Mm-hmm. Something's happening. And now the buzz is that Googs is about to buy them. And Empty brought up an interesting point is, are they going to buy the whole thing? Or are they going to buy part of them? Empty's like, maybe they're just going to buy their mobile division and leave the HTC Vive alone. Personally, I don't think Google gives one hot damn about their mobile divisions. Like, we already bought a mobile division. We know how to do that now. We only care about your virtual reality division and what you got going on there.
And I, again, have to agree with Jordan. Patents. HTC's got quite a few of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been around a while. I mean, they used to be the hot business, man.
And it makes a hell of a lot of sense, especially okay, there has been some progress made with the cardboard VR bullshit.
Well, the Google Daydream.
Yeah.
The nice padded one, so it doesn't hurt as bad when you smash into a wall.
It would make sense that they would buy, the people who made the Vive, arguably the best VR headset for PC currently available. So yeah, it makes sense, but yeah, no, patents. There's a lot of patents at play there, and Google, or the Alphabet company, are very much in the business of making money, and patents make a lot of money still because.
Well, I mean, the whole patent thing is just irritating because what's his name from Oracle? The only reason he bought Sun is so he'd have ammunition to go after and sue Google.
Yeah.
Sun died for that.
For that asshole to try and fuck with Google, literally.
That's it. I mean, that's what happened there. But I don't know, the Google Vive. Huh. That'd be great. Then they could hire Carmack.
And have Facebook sue Carmack
Why not?
because he was selling trade secrets.
Just be like, come at me, bro.
I'm with Google now, bitch. What are you gonna do?
Still that I either Yeah, I said that a few weeks back. Is they got a bunch of backstock of the Vives. That's why they cut the price. Or Generation 2, which is something 50% radically different, is about to come out. Which, by 50% radically different, I mean wireless. No? Yeah, you don't think they...
No. I see it. It's just that's not like near future.
Wireless already exists for the Vive. It's just another company makes it.
Yes, but latency is still an issue. Very
Not
much.
really.
Really?
No. That's what this company like put it out for. They're like adds like whatever millisecond. Now where are you going to put your chips down? Huh?
Oh. But yeah, no. VR needs to be wireless to be viable. That's for sure, and needs to be cheaper.
No, the problem with doing like wireless, and especially if you can get rid of the lighthouses,
Yeah.
it's going to piss off a lot of early adopters. They're not going to buy the new one. They're like,
Then again, the early adopters are very much in the minority. If we are to take Steam hardware survey numbers at their face value,
here's the thing, man. I said when this first came out, I said you will see the initial adoption at the same rate of people you know with full racing setups. And by that, I mean wheels and pedals. And it's perfect, exactly 1-to-1. Mr. Empty and Josh Walrath on the racing side. Those I know one person in reality, real world that has a full racing setup, and I know one person that has a HTC Vive setup.
yeah. Then again, Josh is in a privileged position because he gets that stuff for review. So, let's see. No, I totally get it, but it needs to be cheaper. Again, if we are to take the Steam hardware survey numbers at their face value, there's less than a quarter of people using VR than there are using Linux. So if Linux is the whipping boy, I don't get why the hell VR is so popular.
It's VR. I mean, Linux VR, I don't know, man. I mean, you get it because it works. It's kind of neat.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm just saying people who bought VR, less than a quarter of the ones who use Linux.
If you phrase that in the form of a sentence, I might be able to decrypt it.
There are less than a quarter of people on Steam who have a VR headset than there are who use Linux.
See, this is where you're throwing me off. There's less than a quarter of people on Steam who use VR headset. There are less Steam users than VR headset users. That's what you're trying to communicate?
VR headset users on Steam, less than a quarter.
Less than a quarter of them?
Linux users.
25% of the VR headset users are Linux users.
No. VR users in general are less than 25%
of the total
Linux users. Yes.
Okay. 25% of Linux users have VR.
Mm-hmm.
There. That's all you had to say.
Shh. Look, I've only been living here for
these are English lessons.
2 months.
I've been giving this man English lessons for 5 hours every Saturday night for the last half decade, and this is all I get.
Yes, but that was only like once a week and then twice a week when he started doing LWDW. Now I'm getting the full-on crash course. Now it's real. Now when I walk outside, I hear English all the time. Well, unless I go to Tesco or any store, really, at which point I will hear French, Spanish, Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, Chinese, Japanese, variety of things.
American.
Yeah. There's actually one of the, there's a lady who works at the same office I do who is very much American. That accent is unmistakable.
Well, there's about 20 different indistinguishable that I could run off American accents that I've encountered.
I couldn't place it exactly. I don't really know American accents all that well. It's just
Have
that
you
every now and again someone will say, you have this weird mixture between American and almost Scottish and Portuguese accents. Scottish?
it's a little bit American, a little bit Down syndrome. Maybe you got an extra chromosome floating around in there, buddy. My favorite thing is the first time you encounter somebody who's Scottish,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, "Oh shit, this needs subtitles."
Like, slowly go.
What do we have?
Actually, that's I walk by. I don't know if he's Scottish, but I walk by a dude that is always wearing a kilt, regardless of how cold it gets.
Oh,
Single
he's just a flasher, man.
could be, yeah, but no, he it's like 7:15, 7:20 in the morning. Stupid cold. You can see your breath. I'm walking to the bus stop, and he's just going the other direction. It's like, oh right, kilt, nice.
You didn't walk by him. You like trans rights, man.
I'm pretty sure I would get punched. Just saying.
Oh, if you were to get punched, man, why don't you screw up and they get out of the shower with a towel wrapped around your head and go check the post? Yeah. It's like, nope, not even on a dare. All right. I think that is going to wrap us up.
Indeed. I need to go. Nori's already had noodles, so I'm probably going to make some for myself.
Oh, some baked noodles?
No, I got the kettle now, so.
Well, it takes all the fun out of it.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, a minute. Just turn on the kettle, wait a minute, pour it into the cup, wait another 2 or 3 minutes, done.
No, you're supposed to eat the noodles, then drink the hot water.
Admittedly, those beef and tomato noodles, dry,
Mm-hmm.
I'll usually like pick at them while the water is boiling. Pretty good.
Oh, that's like me and any like jalapenos, man. It's like if I'm adding a jalapeno pepper to this meal, let's go ahead and bring 3.
Yeah.
One might make it in.
It's like, oh yeah, you're chopping an onion. Okay, so I need to chop 2 onions because I'm going to eat one of them.
Yeah. I've been laying off the onions. Too many carbs and onions. Isn't that a special hell?
Onions are so good.
Oh, Jesus, man. I haven't had an onion in like 5 months. It's miserable.
No, it's I think I'm doing better now. I'll only like nibble at the bits that like it's usually like not the dried up skin, but the layer immediately after the dried up skin, which the knife doesn't cut all that well, so I just peel it off and eat it.
Just bite into them.
Yeah, no. I could do that, but no. I need to use them for cooking.
All right. Hey, beautiful people, we'll see you Thursday. Something be going on Thursday. Go check our schedule out. linuxgamecast.com/schedule, scheduled, if you will. It's kind of brilliant. Had a good time. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.